with the funny mustache guy. He's also a Western construct. Sleepy Joe Auto Pen, because Biden wasn't the president. When they were in the White House doing cocaine and sniffing little girls and little boys' hair. On my channel today, I just go for a quick Saturday morning walk, -3 in Toronto, and I just walked over to my local refugee camp, Tim Hortons, just to lay eyes on my neighborhood early Saturday morning, get my blood flowing, and to see what's going on over at Tim Hortons this morning. A little before 7 a.m. Sun's coming up to in front of me from the east, obviously, and it's a little bit chilly this morning. But I wanted to go grab a quick coffee over at Tim Hortons. I want to get my walk in early this morning, and I don't normally go into Tim Hortons, but I like laying eyes on what's happening in my society, in our society. And when you wake up early in the morning and you go to places that offer food and warmth, you get to see a cross-section of people. Like, people are obviously going to be going in there for their coffee and their breakfast or whatever, and then go to work. And there's going to be other people waiting for the location to open up, which I think it opens at 5 a.m. They're going to go in there and get warm. Maybe they have a little money to buy whatever, and that's what I'm doing. But in the meantime, I want to discuss what's going on in the Ukraine. It's just been released, worldwide knowledge now, that Vladimir Zelensky's right-hand man, as he calls him, and as the media is calling him, has been, his house has been raided, and he's being investigated for corruption, theft, stealing money, jewels, weaponry, whatever the West has sent him. Now, people, I've been saying from day one, the Ukraine war with Russia was a complete Western construct, meaning they picked out that gender-confused president, Zelensky. He's a cocaine addict, amongst other things. He's a complete Western puppet. Not so dissimilar to back during, leading up to World War II, with the funny mustache guy. He's also a Western construct. So you push Russia to the point where it would appear that Russia invades the Ukraine or attacks the Ukraine. Then you get the worldwide liberal democratic sheep on side that Russia's a big bad boogeyman, when in fact the Western countries and NATO have been encroaching on Russia and Russian borders for decades. And there was an agreement between Russia and NATO that Ukraine would never become a NATO power. And when Sleepy Joe Auto Pen, because Biden wasn't the president, it was the globalists and evildoers that were just putting money in him and his cocaine-addicted kid's bank account. When they were in the White House doing cocaine and sniffing little girls and little boys' hair, they appropriated billions and billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine war, as did Canada, as did other G7 countries. So now, all of a sudden, overnight, it's coming out that, there could be a scandal over there with regards to misappropriation of funds and just flat-out theft. Oh my Lord, that is shocking to actually no one, except unless you're 10 booster shots deep and still wearing a mask in your car. To everyone else with half a brain, knew a money laundering war. And when you have a war that is, which most wars are, when you have a war that is specifically set up to make people billionaires around the world, and like I said, most wars are. If you read General Smedley Butler's book, War is a Racket, from the 30s, this has been going on for millennia. It's for profiteers. The unfortunate part are The people that are 10 shots deep and wearing masks in their car, COVID masks, they just think they're doing a noble cause. They put up a Ukraine flag as their profile pic on any one of their social medias, and they have no skin in the game whatsoever. They're not Ukrainian. They don't even know anyone that's Ukrainian. They don't even like pierogies, and so they just do it to virtue signal. It's mass formation psychosis, and it appears to be very, very widespread in my country of Canada. So now, what's going to happen in the Ukraine? Zelensky's going to be overthrown within the next week or two, and all funding over there is going to dry up. Now, where does this leave the people over there? Well, it leaves them in a very bad spot. So, and it leaves Putin in a very good spot to negotiate whatever he wants to negotiate. So, people, or liberals, I should say, admit you've been duped. Just admit you've been duped. You know, don't go on social media and say how bad Trump is and how bad Pierre Poilievre is. Don't go on social media and spout all that nonsense, okay? 25,000 people in Canada this year have died waiting for surgeries because there's too many people here. 500,000 people have gone into emergency wards in hospitals this year and couldn't wait around any longer and left. Now, why is that? Why is that happening? It's because our medical infrastructure is overburdened. The Liberals have let in so many immigrants that our system cannot keep up at any level. Judiciary, policing, housing, medical. I've said it many times before. So now everyone is cozy in their house this morning. Their heat, I would imagine most of their heat's going. I would imagine some of their people's heat's been cut off. Well, I don't know if you can actually by law now, but there's a lot of people struggling that may not look like they're struggling, but they are hanging on by a thread. They are living day to day, not paycheck to paycheck, day to day. So, you know, for all you liberals that want to go on social media and argue that Pierre Poilievre and Trump is the boogeyman, nah, Pierre Poilievre and Trump aren't the boogeyman. You know, is Trump a narcissistic, ego-driven maniac? Yeah, I would say that he is, but he didn't get my country of Canada into this situation. The liberals did, the liberal ideologies. Now that pipeline fiasco out west with Danielle Smith and Carney, that's going to amount to nothing. That is just all smoke and mirrors. Now, I don't know what's going on with Danielle Smith. I hope she's playing possum. I hope she's just appeasing that lizard Carney, that fork-tongued lizard, and she has a higher plan with Poilievre to work around. That David Eby in BC, I don't know what drugs he's on, but he's on drugs, and obviously he's on the take. All these politicians are. All these politicians that are on record agreeing or signing off on any sort of funding to the Ukraine should be investigated. But that's not going to happen either, because the RCMP, they get paid off, so they're not going to be fucking investigated either. None of these people are going to be ever investigated. So there's a very popular saying: until the corrupt politicians start going to jail, I won't be believing in any politician doing good for me or my country. We got to start throwing these people in jail. Like, there's billions and billions of dollars. Like, whenever these liberals get called up into committees or to speak before or under oath, all they do is him and haw, and they dance around, and that was taken out of context, and I'd have to get back to you on that, or my assistant will look into that. It's the same bullshit over and over again. So what these people are doing, most of the politicians are lawyers by profession. They go get their law degree, whatever. They open up the door, they go in, they go to university for 3 or 4 years, and they come out with a law degree. It's a professional bullshit degree. I have zero respect for lawyers, zero. And then they go in to become a lawyer, knowing they're going to become a politician. They become professional bullshit artists. That's what lawyers are. So Carney, Trudeau, Freeland, Melanie Joly, Bill Blair, Dominic LeBlanc, anyone that had any sort of influence with regards to getting the Ukraine money should be investigated, because they're all on the take. They're all in those positions to become extremely rich and to rob Canada blind. Every last cent they can, before their time is up. You look at Joe Lee now, you look at Freeland, you look at Bill Blair, they're all jumping ship. They all know the ship is sinking, and they're all setting themselves up for better, more insulated careers after they get out of politics. And well, they'll never get out of politics, but they want to fade into obscurity. I can guarantee you that. They want to get out of the public eye because they know what they've done, and people are not going to forget. You know, most sheep in Canada will forget because they're weak people. They're weak-minded, they're cowards. So people like me aren't going to forget. So anyway, I'm going to go into my my local Somali refugee camp here, and hopefully I don't get poisoned. It's just right up there. Just finished up. I just loaded up my coffee in my local African refugee camp in there. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. This is in the west end of Toronto, this Tim Hortons, and literally you risk your life going in there for any reason. It's a little after 7 a.m. One guy was sitting there eating a Tupperware container of, I don't know what it was. I know it wasn't Tim Hortons sold it, and no Tim Hortons drink or anything in front of him. 4 or 5 other people sitting there with hoodies, looking at their phones. 2 of them had coffees. It looks like people just are aimlessly wandering around the streets, and they wait for somewhere to congregate where it's warm. And if you do have a little bit of money, or if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can go in and into a Tim Hortons. You know, I'm not saying something that is cutting edge news. This is rampant in this country, for the simple fact that the Liberal government has opened the floodgates for unskilled labor from African countries, South Asian countries, and it doesn't matter what this person brings to Canada or to Canadian Western values. It doesn't matter. They don't even ask those questions. Just come in. You're a Liberal vote, and you are purposely brought in to collapse the social welfare system. And you know what? I don't know. I haven't been to these countries where these people come from. I know they're not good. I know they're not as good as this country. So anything they can get away from in their country is a bonus for them. But they're also given false hope in this country. You know, they are given, you know, or a narrative is presented to them where they're going to come here, they're going to do better for themselves. But and a lot of times they do. A lot of times the countries they're coming from, they're not making any money. Whereas here the government will give you lots of money, try to get you housing, try to get you medical care. Hence 500,000 people walk into an emergency and walk out because they can't get served. Hence 25,000 people died this year waiting for medical procedures. They are killing us. The Liberal government is literally killing us. I don't know when people are going to wake up. But it's not even the fact of waking up now. I'm getting mad, and a lot of people are getting mad. Danielle Smith was booed out in Alberta this week when she said she was aligned with Mark, or she's aligning with Mark Carney's vision of pipelines. She was booed. Now people were saying she wasn't booed. People are saying that Carney and his bullshit pipeline deal was booed, but I think it's a bit of both. My dog's not out of bed yet, but I'll give him his treats. I'd like to believe one day that the Liberal Karens, Darrens, all the cowards in this country will wake up, but they're not going to. Trump's not going to save us. Poilievre's not going to save us. No one's coming to save us but us. Oh, I know it's another bleak message from Dewey Romes, but that's the way I see it. And obviously, I'm at the street level. A lot of these people that want to chirp off in the comment section and you know, say how well this country is doing, obviously doesn't leave their house or their car because that's not the case whatsoever. Got any questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye.